What is going on, guys and gals? It is Medieval Bandit here, back today with another video. And in today's video is just going to be the results of the Medieval Maze winners. And unfortunately, I didn't have creative replays turned on, so I didn't get the recording of the people that was in the video. But I will mention their names at the end of this video after I show off a walkthrough of what they had to go through, and then at the end I'll also talk about the flaws that it had, because I'll be honest, it took 2 days for me to make, and you can definitely tell because it wasn't very well made and very well put together. But if you're new, consider subscribing, and I'll put my Discord on screen, and either that or I'll put it in the description, whatever I decide after making this video. Also check out my buddy Invenma Games. I'm going to be doing some collabs with him, so it's going to be some really cool videos, and yeah, it's going to be some awesome content for you guys. But before we get into today's video, if you want to be featured in my next video, comment who you think's the best meme, the almighty Shaggy or the great Thanos Shrek, and I'll put the picture of the meme on screen. But other than that, let's get into today's video. So this is where everybody started off at. They started off, this was before level 1. And I was lagging while I was doing this video, but you get your checkpoint, and all you did was you slid down this big slide, went down in here, and what was actually pretty neat that I actually didn't know, that you could actually use the chillers to slide past the traps. But and this was a little bit of a trick room. They had choices to go through some of the doors to get a risky possible loot if they could, and there's weapons all around the map and ammo. But what they were really supposed to do was go downstairs, which, like I said, it wasn't very well put together. It wasn't obvious. They really had to really look for it. But as they made it down, they made it all the way through here, and they had to run through this corn maze. And if they fell down, which I made a mistake of not blocking it off, they would end up dying to a trap. And this is level 2. Pretty short level. Just make that jump, and then you move on to level 3, which was the climb, is what I would call it. And it had not very many traps set up, and once you make it up there, you're still gonna have to dodge some traps, and then you're gonna go down this ice slide, which will take you on down to the level 4 area. You also had a guy up there that was the sentry that had an RPG, I believe. It was RPG or a shotgun is what I made him have. But this is where level 4 is. If for some reason they went out this way, it would be an immediate death by the trap. And I got praise for this one. They liked it because it was kind of like you got to figure out where to go, and obviously you go down. Well, not obviously, but once you figure it out, you go down, dodge the traps, and then you'll make it on down to this section, the barn section. Dodge some more traps, try to go for a risky weapon, and then you'll make it on past these to level 5. Once you're at level 5, you go through this door, dodge a couple more traps, and make it up to the throwback medieval maze from Playgrounds back a while back in like season 4, I believe, which is also level 6. And there's a bunch of doors everywhere. You had to make the right choice, go the right way, and if they happen to go the wrong way, they would end up towards this section, which didn't lead to anywhere but death. They had to actually go through this other door over here and wait for the chillers to get off, or make it through somehow, dodge a couple of traps, and make their way on up towards the stairs. Now if they went through that door right here, they would have ended up dying as well. But then they go upstairs, and they have options to go either side. It doesn't matter. They had 2 sentries with pistols on each side, the left and right, and they hit their checkpoint. They progress forward, and then they come into this room. Well, what do you do in this room? I'm not really sure. It's just a simple parkour, and there's actually 2 ways you could do it. One is a little lengthy, and then there's the shortcut, which I just left there. I could have changed it and made it where they go one way, but I wanted to see how it went. I want to make it a little bit easier, considering it's quite a long and confusing map, and this was what I made really confusing. I put all kinds of different ways to go, but this was the shortest and the quickest way, was just to go straight over to the fireplace, make it up through there, and then once you make it up here, you're welcome to grab a grappler, a shotgun over there, a minigun, boogie bombs, and you would jump pad all the way down to level 7. And like I said, it wasn't closed off. You had a couple traps under and then you had one right to the side, and you had to do some little parkouring and try to get across that. Once you make it down here, you gotta dodge some traps, and you make it on to level 8. Now, they were given 5 different ways they could have went, but only one was the correct way. So if you went to the 4th door, you could have got you a double barrel, but it was guarded by a sentry. And this was the sentries I showed on screen. They'd make it to go to the level 3 door, the correct door, and if they went to that the first door, number 1 door, they could have went and got them a sword juice, because I put plenty of health. That was a bit of a troll, putting the chug jug in that room, because I tried to make it to where it was impossible to get, but I don't believe anybody really went for it. Level 9, you just pretty much make your way up towards up through another set of stairs. You can get you a bandage and do a little bit more parkour, dodge a trap, make it up to this part, which you dodge a couple traps, or if you went back towards here, get you a weapon if you would like to. It was completely up to you. Choice was yours. Get you some more shields, and then just do a short bit of parkour, make it around this corner, and there was one guy, there was a sentry that was with a shotgun you were able to dodge, and if you went to that room, it was death. This was a little bit easy. You could just go through that, jump, bounce up here, and then this is where you will loot up, because the end I made was pretty crazy, where you would eventually be fighting people, but I didn't get the whole, I believe it was 12 levels, but right here is one of the mistakes that I made. Like, you see how people were able to jump, if they went down there and somehow they were able to dodge these traps, well, they could just go straight to level 7 as well through there, somehow. And then up through the house where they went through this door, for some reason it wouldn't let me put the window back there, so I tried to make traps where if they went that way, they wouldn't make it, but people were able to dodge the traps, make it on top of the house, and then they were confused on where they should go because I didn't close it off. And this one right here, the throwback, I believe it was a little confusing, is what was the most confusing part of the maze, was trying to make it through this. Because there's so many doors and so many wrong ways, you had to go one direction, but that's really the point of it. Try to go in one way, but it was just so confusing, and it was just so much for a first maze. But this is the one that I'm coming up with right now. This is the ending, actually. It was really well made. I've been spending a lot of years preparing this one, and the grand prize maze, as you can see all these zeros, there's going to be 3 winners for the grand prize maze, and then anyone that competes in the grand prize maze, a total of 16 can compete. That'd be the full, the full max amount that they can have in a server. So everyone would get a starter pack for just competing, so you win automatically something for being in the grand prize maze, and that's why it's called the grand prize maze. And as you can see, this is where you're gonna have to get your starter pack, or get your extra, because there's going to be 3 winners, but there can be a 4th, and the 4th is going to be won by an elimination. And there's plenty of guns, plenty of resources you could use, or plenty of things you could want. You got healables inside of here, and I just set this up to be something really, really cool for you guys. But that's about all I have for you today. Like I said, if you are new, consider subscribing. Check out my buddy Invenma Games channel. Check out my Discord, and with that being said, I'm going to leave the rest for y'all, and y'all have a wonderful and incredible day, and I will see you all very, very soon. Almost forgot, the winners, there was actually 2. A lot of them quit, because like I said, it was very difficult, so a lot of them quit, but there was 2 winners. First place, I believe it was Rotating Bird 23, and Invenma Games got 2nd place, and the other ones, they left. If they would have just waited around a little bit longer till, you know, they completed it, I would have felt bad enough where I would have just gave them something, you know, because it was very sloppy a map. But that's gonna be it. Again, y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one.